You do your thing.
Is now when we're launching, girls? Is it this moment? Like now, right now, right now?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to introduce? Do you want to do the whole thing? And the floor is yours.
Well, hello, cool kids, and welcome to yet another call, our call of gratitude, attitude, and commitment, run by the amazing Curls. Was that pretty good?
It's run by you.
No. And this is the slide. This is a slide that says, whatever comes out of my mouth is totally 100% my responsibility. Most normal people would not agree with what I say, so it's all on me. And if you have a complaint, reach out to Curls, and she will get you sorted immediately. Pretty good? Was that right?
Don't listen to him.
I love it. Well, good to see everyone. Thank you for joining. Are we good now? We can do our thing. Yes. All right. Thank you, Curls. All right, guys. Welcome to our call from all over the globe. We have people here who are freezing, people here who are sunny warm, people here in the middle of the night, people where it is bright and early, and we all come. Hello, Mo. What's going on? Jacqueline, good to see you. Nasco. Jacqueline, you're not eating today. What's up?
She's home.
My lunch.
She's home.
I'm home. I'm not work. Excuse me. I sound a bit like a wicked witch because I have got the flu. So I'm on sick leave, and no, I'm grateful that I can enjoy the call, seeing everybody again, and not running outside. So, and I didn't want to go to work, so I chose the flu. Everything is totally fine.
I chose the flu. I got to tell you what, I've heard a lot of things. I've never actually heard that before. I chose the flu. I chose the flu. It was good. We're glad you're here. Hopefully we'll have a good time today. We generally do. Hilton, what's up, my brother, from another cafe? Charlie, good morning, bright and early, California. Nasco, what is going on? Hey, Joris. All the folks are joining, guys. All right, so today, on our call here, we're going to talk about a happiness equation a little bit, and as general, I'll talk for a little bit, with some stuff, and then you guys, if you would do me a favor, as I go through this, be thinking of areas in your life that kind of fit this equation, and I'll give you a couple of examples at the end. But next month, as we mentioned, is National Gratitude Month over here in America. So next month we're going to be focused a lot on gratitude. So you guys can just pretend that it's National Gratitude Month where you live too, and we will all celebrate that together. But for today, we're going to end this month with the happiness equation. Okay. So today, I wanted to talk about this because happiness is important. I think it's cool. And there's all kinds of things going on all in the world right now. All these disruptions, all these negative things, all these kinds of frustrations and divisions. And for some people, it's hard to see past the negative. And, regardless of where you come from, where you stand, where you live, what nationality you are, we all have one thing in common, right? We all want to be happy, okay? And the vast majority of people believe two things about happiness, which I believe are false. Now, first off, a lot of people believe that happiness is just something that happens to you. You either experience happiness or you don't. And it kind of comes and goes at will. And, it's a big misconception that, they believe it's not something that you can create by your own action. Okay. I see that a lot. And the second thing is people also believe about happiness that isn't true, in my humble opinion, is that there's some sort of secret to happiness. They think, I got to be one of those chosen few to know the secret, and they think it's probably some super complicated algorithm, like this mystical revelation that's been passed down from person to person to person. But guess what? It's not, right? Like I can buy it from some moron on the internet for only 4 low payments of $999 and become a certified happiness guru, It's all over the place down here. So those are two common beliefs about happiness that I just don't believe are true. So first of all, the main one is I don't think happiness just happens to you, you know, and second of all, you can't buy it. You got to make it. Okay. So humor me here and just forget about everything that we know about happiness. And let's just talk for a little bit on how to create it. Now, I believe that success is an equation. Okay. And when we boil it down, it's very simple. You know, talk equals regrets, action equals results, period. You do the work, you get the results. And if you've been on our call here before, you know that we talk a lot about these things consistently. Now, it's an equation and it's very simple. You know, for me personally, which that's all I have to share is my own experience, you know, and any success that I've had in my life is from following a simple equation. You know, I am absolutely not the most talented dude on the planet or gifted. I am not even the most talented person on this call in any area, not even by a long shot. Okay. And I don't have access to any special knowledge or resources that no one else has. Okay. Now, a lot of people pretend like they do, but I'm telling you, I don't. I do not, like, not at all, you know, but I do have a secret and it works almost every time. Okay. Here's my secret. Every day, identify what needs to be done and then just fucking do it. That's it. That's the secret, right? Do the work, do it relentlessly and consistently and just execute on the simple equation. And that's how it works. Now, is this easy? No. All kinds of things get in our way, you know. Sometimes I get in my own way quite a lot, actually. Last week, I only won one day on what I set out to do. You guys know how I always do the power list, right? Like I write my 3 things for the day and I either win them or I lose the day. Well, I only won one day last week and I was kind of upset about it, you know, but it wasn't that I didn't do things. It was just that I planned terribly and I underestimated how long it was going to take me to do everything that was on my list. And there's only so many hours in a day. So last week as a week was kind of an epic fail, but that's okay because it starts over every single day, right? And although it isn't easy, it's still simple, right? And those two are not the same thing. And I believe that the same thing is true for happiness. You know, as success, happiness isn't the natural result of perfect conditions. You know, a lot of people think that, oh, you know, the cards they were dealt, you know, that's what it is, or you know, they got the perfect job, or the perfect income, or the perfect relationship, or they got this perfect place to live, and oh, they're in perfect health, right? There's no physical or mental or emotional challenges that go with that at all. They're just perfect, and that's bullshit, and we all know that. Okay. We all know people who have all of those things, literally all those things, and are still miserable, right? Because there's an equation for happiness and it needs to be executed. And like the equation for success, it's reliable, right? And consistent. And it's, if we do these things, we get the results. Okay. The results of this equation of happiness will always be the same. If you execute the equation, you will get the result. So why do all these people spend all this money and all this time looking all over the world for the answer to this? You know, like there's this perpetual search for happiness, right? So today we're gonna keep it simple, like I do, so I can understand it. And we're gonna break it down. So the equation is this: discipline plus purpose plus gratitude equals happiness. Okay, that's the equation. So let's break it down a little bit. So let's start with discipline. Okay. Now, if you looked up discipline in the dictionary, or you know, Googled it, because probably nobody owns a dictionary anymore, it would say to train yourself to do something in a controlled and habitual way, which sounds fancy. So I have a simpler definition. Discipline is the ability to keep your promises you make to yourself. That's it. Okay. And we all know that that's how we build self-confidence as well, right? By making and keeping commitments to ourselves. Now, when we say, hey, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, we keep that promise to ourselves. When we say, hey, I'm going to put in the daily work to scale my business to 6 figures or 7 figures, whatever your goal is, we keep that promise. When we say, hey, I'm going to write a book or a blog or start a podcast, Hilton, or spend some time with my family, we keep those promises to ourselves. And the way you keep that promise, the way we keep those promises to ourselves, is to consistently say no to that little voice, right? The one that tries to get you to make excuses, the one that tries to get you to give up, to sleep in just a little longer, or hey, I really don't need to do that today, or this can wait, or nobody will know, or it's not that important, or I've already worked so hard today, I deserve a break. Okay, we all have that little voice. And one of the ways that helps us stay consistent in our actions is to say no to that little voice, right? And if we consistently take action and we consistently execute and do the work, whether we feel like it or not, whether conditions are good or whether they're the worst they could possibly be, if we execute day after day after day without compromise and without deviation, and if we push ourselves beyond our comfort zones and we do this consistently, that's what discipline is. Okay, it's doing whatever it takes to keep the promises we make to ourselves. Now, when you become the kind of person who knows that you're going to keep the promises you make to yourself, do you understand how confident and self-assured you're going to become? Like there's a peace, there's a freedom to just knowing that if I make a commitment to do something, it's just going to get done. Even if you have no idea how it's going to get done, you just know it's going to happen because you made that commitment. And when we have that type of confidence in ourselves, it's just freedom. It's a beautiful thing. And there's a peace that comes with that we're going to experience because we're not worried about the other factors beyond our control. When we don't necessarily have that confidence in ourselves that we keep our commitments, we can focus on all these things out there that we have no control over. And then that little voice we just talked about, it uses those as excuses, right? But whatever, it doesn't matter. It's like, this is where I'm at, this is where I'm going, and all this other bullshit in between here is just in my way, right? Whenever that's how we look at things and that's how we feel, it gives us that confidence and that freedom and that security, knowing that we're going to accomplish what we set out to accomplish strictly because we just made the commitment, and that's just who we are, and that's just what we do. We understand that, we are the biggest factor in our happiness, and if you can control you, if you can keep the promises you make to you, you will all but guarantee that you will succeed in achieving your goals, okay, no matter what they are. And that's why discipline is the first factor in this equation to happiness, but the reality is we're not going to be able to do what we need to do and keep the promises to ourselves if we don't know why we want to do it. Okay. And that's where the second part of the equation comes in. That's purpose, right? Now, nobody's going to put in the hard work just for the sake of doing hard work, right? Like I don't, nobody's going to put themselves through hell just to be like, hey guys, look at me. I was disciplined enough to put myself through hell, right? Like that's not really a thing, Now there may be some like sadistic people out there that's their jam. I just personally don't know any. Okay. Now there's not a person on this planet who wants to be disciplined just for the sake of being disciplined. It's like, I don't know. It's like if you're an NFL athlete or whatever the professional football, soccer thing is over there, whatever that's called, the big pro league, right? It's like being that athlete, making it to that level and being like, well, I don't really care if we win. I'm just happy to be here. That's not a thing, man. Like none of those people who excel and are at the top are doing it just for the sake of doing it. Like they want to win, dude. Like if you're keeping score, you want to win, right? And that's a mindset, and I've been known to take that to the extreme, I have to be mindful of that. Like I've never let my nephews beat me at like anything, and like we could be playing tiddlywinks and I want to stomp them, but whenever they actually beat me, it means something to them, right? And it teaches them that, you know, not everybody gets a trophy, you know, and whenever we have that mindset and we have a purpose behind what we're doing, we're driven, you know, to win or to succeed. Okay. And, you know, discipline is not in itself, it's not an end, it's a means to an end. Okay. So, like, this is a stupid example, but it's what I thought of when I was coming up with my notes. Like, when I do everything I can to resist eating peanut butter, like in the pantry, right? Because sometimes if I just want to eat some peanut butter, like I just like that shit, right? Like, I don't just do it so I say, oh, yay for me, I defeated the peanut butter. You know, like that's not the goal. That's not what I'm trying to do. Okay. It's that I know that I have to cultivate the discipline to resist the peanut butter so I can achieve my ultimate goal of health, you know, and fitness, because it's those little decisions that we make. It's not the big ones, right? Like most people who are trying to get healthier, get in shape, they cook these healthy meals and all of that. It's all the little things that we do in between those meals, right? It's the snack here, it's the bite of this here, it's the, oh, I'm gonna go drink on the weekend, which, you know, I don't drink, but that used to be my jam. You know, it's all these little things that we do outside of the big healthy habits we have that really make all the difference. You know, I tell this to the guy that I work with a lot, you know, most people do most things the same. The difference is in the little details. Okay. And it's our purpose that gives us that discipline to stick to those little things and tell that little voice no. Okay. And all of this stuff, you know, it gives us the confidence to help crush our other goals, right? Like it's these little things that build those confidence to crush the big goals, man. And it's a means to an end. Okay. And if we don't know why we want or need to do the hard things, well, guess what? We're probably not going to do them, you know? And that's why it's critical for your happiness to understand what the ultimate purpose is. Okay. And it's different for all of us, but we need to know what that is. And it's critical that you have a clear picture in your mind of exactly what that is. You know, and I've learned so much of this from JJ. You know, I mean, he's taught me so much in this area of my life, and I'm super, super grateful, because it's not always easy to get clear on what our purpose is, but we do know what it is. We just have to put in the time and the effort, usually by ourselves, usually in the quiet, to come up with it. Okay. So if we want to be happy, we have to be disciplined. To be disciplined, we have to be purposeful, and we have to know why we're executing. Now, we have to visualize our purpose and see it clearly in our mind's eye, because that's what creates the motivation and drives our discipline to execute. Okay, so if you want to be consistently motivated to do the hard work, we have to keep promises to ourselves. We have to be disciplined, and we need to be driven by our sense of purpose. And it's as simple as that. Okay, so the equation so far, you know, happiness so far is discipline plus purpose. But there's one more part, which is my favorite, and that is gratitude. Okay, discipline plus purpose plus gratitude equals happiness. All right, and if you want to think of it like this, if happiness was a coin, okay, on one side, it would be the ability to get what you want. On the other side, it would be the appreciation for what you already have. And that's the side of happiness that we really need to make sure we don't neglect. You know, I'm talking about driven, ambitious, hungry people, high achievers, right? Like yourselves, like people who want to crush massive goals on a daily basis. It's good to want that. It's good to have dreams and goals, you know, and it's good to want to pursue your own true full potential. Okay. But we also have to be grateful for the things that we have, you know, like there's an axe analogy I love, but about reaching your full potential. But the gist of it is, you know, you just have to keep the axe sharp. You have to keep hitting it in the exact right spot. You have to keep swinging it long after you get tired and you're sore and you got blisters on your hands. And it's important to keep pushing. Just keep chopping wood is what we call it. Just keep chopping wood. Just focus on what you're doing. Stay consistent. Put in the work and don't worry about the outside circumstances. And it's important, you know, that we keep pushing forward on our goals. But the reality is that if we're always looking to the future, if we're always working towards something, we never take the time to appreciate what we have, you know, and enjoy where we are right now. Okay. So, if we don't stop and feel and express gratitude, we'll never truly be happy. That's why you have to create a ritual in your life for expressing gratitude, consistently. You've got to form a daily habit of giving thanks. Okay. And we talked about like several ideas or ways, or I guess hacks is what the young kids call it today, to have time out to express gratitude. Okay. Like one is, while you're brushing your teeth, 2 minutes, hopefully twice a day, hopefully think of what you're grateful for, that little time. And once you become in the habit, and every time you grab your toothbrush, your mind will know, I need to think of what I'm grateful for, or like Hilton does before he gets out of bed, he counts the 10 things on his fingers. Okay. Or a gratitude journal, right? Or while you pray, or however it is, just stay in the habit of expressing gratitude. Okay. And it's easy to get away from. It is, right? Because it's life. We just get busy and we keep going. But in my experience, when I make the conscious effort to express gratitude, my life is better, period. Right? There might be shitty things going on in my life, but my life is better. Okay. Because I'm not focused on the shitty things. Okay. We're focused on what we're grateful for. And, here's the kicker. Even if a lot of these good things in our life are the result of our hard work, like we earned them, we still need to consider them gifts. Okay. And we can't take them for granted. Like we have to value them purposefully, right? And be grateful for them. So if, let's use a health example. Let's say that, Charlie wakes up every day and he says, I'm going to be in this kind of health. My blood pressure is going to be right here. And he wakes up every day and he goes and runs 10 miles. Okay. Which makes me tired thinking about it, by the way, Charlie. But let's just say that you do this. Okay. And you run 10 miles every single day and you get your blood pressure down right there. Well, it would be easy to be like, look what I did. Look what I did. I put in all this work and this is my result. Right. But the flip side of that is, man, I'm so grateful that my blood pressure's here. I'm so grateful that I can even walk, to have the ability to run, to lower my blood pressure. I'm so grateful that I even had medical care to know that my blood pressure was high to start with. Right. It's those kind of things that we kind of have to reach for sometimes. Right. But they're there. There are things to be grateful for, and it's like, I have all these blessings in my life. I'm so grateful to be here, with you amazing people on this call. I'm grateful for like the time freedom, and the relationships that I have with people all over the world, man, that I would never, ever, ever know, if I wasn't blessed enough to be part of this community. Shabir was talking about it before our call started. It's just so grateful to be a part of this, because we have so many amazing people that we've met. And it's like time freedom for me, which I know I would not have if it wasn't for the SFM. To me, is the biggest blessing of doing your own thing, of having your own business. It's that time freedom, like today, one of my friends is having surgery and her partner, or her wife, is going to be at the hospital all day. So I'm like, hey, can I bring you lunch today? Can I feed your dogs? Can I do anything like that? Right. And it's not going to be a big deal for me to do that, but just having the time freedom and having the ability to do little things like that to impact people's lives whenever they're going through some stuff, is huge, right? And to me, that's a big thing, okay? But like, look out there for the little things. And I think this is something that a lot of us overlook, right? Just throughout the day. Like if I get a parking spot, I'm grateful, right? Because there's a lot of people here, you know what I mean? Like just little stuff like last, a couple weeks ago. So like I love Jay-Z. I don't know if you guys know who Jay-Z is, but so Jay-Z has all this music that I really like that you have not even been able to go buy, right? Like nobody had the rights to his music. Okay. And I'm at the gym one morning and I listened to Spotify and all of a sudden it popped up. All of Jay-Z's songs ever are now on Spotify, which I already have, you know what I mean? And I was just like, thank you. I'm grateful for this. And then later that day, AC/DC, another band that I love, is coming out with a new album. Now they're 100 years old and it might totally suck, right? But it's just the fact that I'm grateful. Like that might sound stupid, okay? But whenever we have little things like that in our day that we become grateful for, you know, we're able to deal with the heavy stuff that much better, right? So just try to focus on the little things that we have that we're grateful for, and that to me, that's the biggest, you know, key to happiness. So, you know, if we don't take time every day, okay, to be grateful for the things in our life and to say thank you, then like what's the opposite of gratitude? It's entitlement, I believe, right? You know, the opposite of giving thanks is complaining. Okay. And if we're not a thankful overachiever, we're going to be some complaining little whiner with a victim mentality, you know, and that's the truth. Okay. Like I see a lot around here right now. Okay. So if we're not cultivating these good habits, okay, we'll slide into bad ones, and that's just human nature. Right. So, I mean, think of this. Have you ever met a person who was ungrateful, but also extremely happy? That's not really a thing. You know what I mean? Like the happiest people are grateful for what they have. It's just they go hand in hand. And a lot of times people don't think about it. You might see somebody that has this flashy lifestyle that's not grateful, but they're probably an asshole. Okay. They just have this nice stuff, right? That's completely different than being happy. So gratitude and happiness, they go hand in hand, right? And that's the final part of the equation. Discipline plus purpose plus gratitude equals happiness. And the ability to get what you want and then appreciate and love what you have, right? It all adds up to the equation and is foolproof. Okay. Plug these three parts into your life, execute this equation, and you'll get these results. Okay. And this isn't like a one time for all time thing. Okay. Like we can't just do this today and then have happiness forever. It's kind of like a shower. We need to do it every day, you know, like brushing your teeth, like eating food, you know. So we have to do it. Okay. And if we do this every single day, every day can be a great day. All right. It might not always be a pleasant day or a perfect day or a pain-free day, but it'll still be a great day, man. You know, and despite of whatever else is going wrong, like we're still here. Okay. Like the fact that we're all on this call, we at least have a computer, you know, or a phone, right? And a place to log on and a community to log into of people who actually give a shit about us, you know, and want to have a positive impact. So to me, that's what it's about. It's about those little things with gratitude. Okay. Discipline plus purpose plus gratitude. That's happiness, man. See? And it's free. None of that costs anything. It's not a course, right? It's not like anything that we really have to buy. We just have to participate daily, right? And it takes very, very little energy to do these things. It just takes a decision to do so. And it takes the action, right, to do them. And then we'll be happy. Cool. So that's about enough out of me. So what are some things, because I know we have some happy people on this call, just think about it. So what is it in your life that that is an example of this? Okay. You know, it could be something difficult that makes you happy by accomplishing, or just an experience, right, that brings you joy and makes you grateful for it. So like an example, you know, for me, you know, exercise is important to me, right? Like my health. Okay. So the fact that I'm disciplined to not hit snooze, you know, like that's good for me. And my purpose for getting up and being that way is because I have been super, super, super unhealthy, right? And it is a blessing that I'm actually even breathing oxygen right now. Okay. So my purpose is to never go back there, right? And every day I have gratitude that I was able to do that. You know, I'm grateful that I can have a membership to a gym. I'm grateful that I can buy clean food. You know, I'm grateful that I have examples and other people to follow, to learn from, to better improve that, so it doesn't get boring in my life. You know, and that's just one of those for me. You know, for me, I'm grateful in my recovery that I have the discipline to do the work, the hard work. You know, and to consistently go to meetings and to sponsor people and to be of service and go up and tell my life story and to do all this stuff. And my purpose of that is to spread hope, you know, is to give hope to somebody who is hopeless and thinks that there's no way out, you know? And I'm grateful for the opportunity to do that, because that was how I got the message, you know, by somebody else. And I'm grateful that I'm able to freely give what was given to me. So those are a couple examples for me here. Let me hear some of you guys examples of things like this is in your life. Shabir, my man, you got to unmute, brother.
Thank you, Danny. Very great topic that you started, and it's very important. I'm grateful that I have the chance to talk, because last time in our call I was muted by my kids. They were in this room and I could not talk, and I'm grateful that I sent a message to Danny and I said, can you not ask me to read one of those? And he said, not a problem. So I was muted from the start to the end of the call, but tonight no one can mute me. I'm gonna talk. Okay, yeah. Unless Danny tell me to shut up or Carl says don't say anything, so I will mute it, but otherwise no. But I respect everyone's time as well. I'm not going to talk all night about the discipline. That's something I'm struggling at the moment, and that is the discipline that I don't have my accountability partner with me during the day anymore. That is Sahar, my lovely wife, because she's taking my kids to school, and the discipline I need, like when I was working, when she was at home and high school for the kids, I was sitting here in my office and I was working, and the mobile phone was next to me. Every time I was going into my mobile phone and checking. Once you go in, you got to keep checking other stuff. But now I promise that I'm going to leave the mobile phone in the kitchen and I'll work in my room here. But every now and then I'm still going in there. But what I remind myself, what Danny mentioned before, if no one is seeing me, there's one thing or two things watching me: my honesty, my integrity, and my loyalty. So don't worry, no one is watching you. You got to be aware that there's three things watching you. So be honest with yourself. With the purpose of my life, it's always reminding myself, and it's right back on the wall behind me. I'll read it, I breathe it. It's just to help and give with love and respect. And gratitude is always in me. Like tonight, I'm very grateful. After 6 months, I was able to bring my mom home because of this COVID-19 just eased up a bit here in Melbourne. And I even called the police station and said, is that okay if I bring my mom? Said, is that more than 25 kilometers? I said, no, it's not. So I brought my mom, and while we were having dinner, she asked me, do you have any online call tonight? I said, yes, Mom, I just got one call and that's at midnight. She said, oh, that late? I said, Mom, I'm very grateful that's on midnight that I can spend more time with you. So it's a small things, as Danny said, to be grateful. And I'm grateful for Danny's call that even midnight. So don't allow my mindset to tell me it's too late, you're going to be there. But being in this call, seeing you beautiful people and learning from each of you and from Danny, that's a gift. That's a gift for me. So that's what I want to share. And thank you, Danny, for giving me the chance. And thanks for my kids that I'm grateful for them that they then mute me tonight. I was able to talk. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Shabir. I appreciate it, brother. All right, who am I gonna call out next? Hilton, you know I'm gonna pick on you, man.
Why me? Yeah, I think from what you said, it's really what came to me is that the first thing people say on New Year's Day is Happy New Year, but you never hear anybody saying, let's work on our purpose this year, or let's work on our discipline, or let's be gratitude this year. You know, you never hear that, but it all combines together to be happiness. So I think the area which I've grown, I think, is the purpose over the past few months. Because I've always had the discipline, and the gratitude is something which I do every morning. But my purpose had been lacking. I've lacked direction in which way I'm going. some of the things which I've done before. I've changed a lot of it, and I'm just so grateful now. I'm on track for my goals and intentions. So it all comes together to happiness. So that's what I wanted to share. So thanks, Danny, and great.
Thanks, brother. Joris, my man.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for being on this call. I was just thinking, actually an image came through my mind, and the pureness of happiness you can find in a child. When I see my kids playing around, and sometimes that's really, it makes me happy just watching him. And yeah, it's also, it gives me a reflection of why I'm doing all this and why I'm putting so much time in it, why I'm facing all the issues I am facing right now. The main end, the main goal is happiness after all, and I guess I will just take the difficult moments with it and surpass them, as probably many of us are facing difficult moments in their lives. But it's all for the better, and at the end, it's all for happiness and a greater life. So thank you.
Thanks, Joris. I appreciate you sharing, man. Okay. Jacqueline, since we haven't been able to hear you talking forever because you've been eating lunch in your car, why don't you share some wisdom with us?
Hi, everyone. Yeah, great topic. Yeah, I'm still trying to sort out these thoughts in my head. What stuck with me when you said at the beginning, there are people who have everything, their cars and houses, and they are still not happy. And I'm just reading the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And he's got a whole chapter in that book around happiness. And when you talked about discipline and purpose and gratitude, a sentence popped up that he said, and that is, happiness is consistently solving problems you love. And because I was thinking about what actually, when I started to read that book yesterday, I was thinking about what's making me happy. Because it's like everybody says, happiness is very fleeting. And I think I'm happy sometimes, but I'm not really. It's just like with material stuff. And I'm really, what makes me happy is, I don't know, letting somebody in front of my car if somebody needs to get out. Or I had the opportunity to help a family member the last couple of months. And it was very hard work, but that made me happy, solving problems for somebody else. And I do have to say, keeping promises I made to myself is discipline I don't have yet. So making, how do I say that? It's just like with Atomic Habits. I've read the book Atomic Habits, and I'm learning to keep the promises I make to myself, because every time I want to establish a habit, it goes away very quickly again, and that makes me unhappy. So I'm doing a whole program around making my habits stick better. So I'm actually learning discipline at the moment. My purpose, I can't articulate my purpose, but my purpose is still a feeling. I can't articulate it. I wanted to talk to JJ about that, but now he's gone. So I will go through that myself. I know that I love helping people, but I'm still too shy to share what I've learned. That's one thing, what still needs to go into my discipline. And yeah, but I'm grateful. I've made like 3 whole sheets what I'm grateful for. And yeah, I just think I'm happy that I experienced the feeling of gratitude, because I know people who are not grateful for anything, and they are just miserable, and they have a lot, but they don't see that. So I think really it's like he says, happiness is a work in progress, and yeah, solving problems you love could be the best thing that you can do all day, isn't it? And start sharing that, what I still need to learn. But I'm grateful that I found SFM and that I'm in learning all this. So yeah, great topic, Benny.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. You know, something I'm grateful for, Jacqueline, is So, you know, I went back in the 90-day video journey again, you know, to have content to send to my subscribers, because I was not being disciplined in that area, right? And I know that if I made the commitment to do the video journey to all you amazing people, that I would actually have some video content to send to my subscribers, which is paying off, right? But I've had a couple, you know, videos where that I put out there, because I don't ever really think about shit, you know what I mean? I just say whatever. And like Jacqueline and some other people have, you know, left comments about something we've talked about on this call. You know what I mean? Like me being, example that jumps out of my head was how this little hydro massage bed that we have in the gym, you just lay on it after you work out or whatever. And I walked in a couple weeks ago, and it has a game. This lady was playing a game on the screen, right? And it's only 10 minutes. And I was like, you just can't lie there for 10 minutes and not touch your phone or a game or something, you know? And I was being a little negative about it, right? And then Jacqueline reminded me, hey, Danny, remember whenever you shared how you couldn't even drive to go see your girlfriend or be in the car for 5 minutes without having to have some type of stimulation? And I was like, thanks for reminding me about that. You know what I mean? Because that made me, it made me really grateful that she found value, you know, and remembered something that we talked about on this call, you know. And it also made me grateful that I'm not that way anymore, right? So instead of me judging that person for doing what they were doing, instead what I should have done is practice what I preach and just been grateful that that's not me anymore. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things I love about getting to hang out with all you people. You know what I mean? Because we constantly remind each other, you know, or you know, Sylvia sent me messages, you know, after our call, you know, about something that stood out or something that made a difference to you. And it makes me super grateful. So yeah, just know that stuff does not go unappreciated and unnoticed. So thank you. Thanks for sharing.
Can I share something, Danny, what Jacqueline said?
Yeah, bro.
Jacqueline, when you said you're shy to share, I was in the same situation as you 2 years ago. I was learning, I was doing for myself. It wasn't making me happy. But once I learned from the great man said, learn, do, and share, what I was doing at that stage, slowly I started teaching people. And then I said, it's not going to work. I'm not a teacher. And people don't like when you say, I teach you. Once I learned that to learn, do, and share from JJ, that changed the whole concept. And now I'm doing, and I started from home. You never get happy unless you make someone else happy to help them with anything they need. And that I started with my wife at home, with my kids, and then I took it outside. Even if when it comes to money, you never get rich unless you make someone else rich. So the more you would help someone else, the more you get happy. That's working for me really well. I always find a way how I can solve someone's problem, how I can help them. What's the problem with them? And as soon as I do that, I bring them in and share with them, and they like the word and they accept it as well. And I say, hey, I'm here to share something with you, not talk to you, not teach you, just share with you. And they take it in and they apply it. And I always ask them, so now you learned, you do it for yourself and share place with someone else. And that's how it's working. And it makes you happy. I'm happy every day when I help someone. I find a way to help someone. A quick example, I was walking, and Danny knows I do 10K walk every second day. And I was walking, this old guy, nice suit, he's got the mask on his mouth and he's walking. And I saw his shoelaces, one was untidy. And I stopped straight away. I said, excuse me, say your shoelaces. I saw his face was so happy. And he just gone like this, thank you so much. And when I walked past, I said, imagine I didn't tell him and this guy was walking and he just fall over and hurt himself. So that brought me happiness. So small things, daily, when you do small things, it just makes you happy. And share, please. Don't be shy. You know what? One thing you do, Jacqueline, if people laugh, if people say something negative, get excited. That's what I do. I don't care what people say. I'm here to help them. That's it.
Thank you, Shabir. I would like to add something to that. One other thing, what I'm really happy about and grateful about, what I learned along my journey with the SFM, I found out why I'm not sharing yet, and I'm working through that. I'm working on my content. I'm not really afraid of I tell myself that I'm not afraid of critics, but I have found out somewhere deep inside that I'm actually still not feeling good enough to share. But that's okay, because I know that now. I didn't know that for a very long time. But now that I know that, I'm happy that I can work with that and work with these problems, because a lot of people think that they are not enough. But if you start a journey like this and you don't know why you're afraid to share, so it's my fear of not being enough. That's why I'm not sharing. But I know that, and I'm working through that. And yeah, it's a process and a journey. But I'm grateful that this journey, how do you say that, laid that open for me. So yeah, but you're right, Shabir. Critics is still, I tell myself that I don't give a shit what other people think. But through the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, I actually found out that I give quite a few fucks what other people think. But you got to realize that's how that Mark said it in his book. Stop giving a fuck about what other people think. But you got to realize that first. There are so many F's in his book. You can't believe it. When you haven't read his book, it's amazing.
It's a very good book.
Yeah.
You
Can
can
you-
In case you missed it, it was the
laugh.
book of the week
Yeah,
a couple weeks
exactly.
ago. And then
But I
by the
think,
end,
One,
Can I get a
One
PG
more
version
thing.
of that book? Because it sounds really good. Yeah.
I'll write you one, Charlie.
Jacqueline,
Mark,
the F word is again small rule. I can't use it. I keep reminding myself, don't use it, don't use it. But one more thing, when I was in that situation that I couldn't share and I said I'm not good enough, now every day I looked at myself in the mirror, I say I'm the best. I'm number one. I can do anything. No one can stop me. Just go fight with yourself on the mirror and it will help you. And guys, start from tomorrow sharing. Don't say it's a journey will come. Don't do it tomorrow. Don't worry about it's coming. Please. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Hey, Jacqueline, can I also add something to your comment and also to Shabir's comment about learn, do, share? I think I hear you guys, what you're saying, and I can say that I am happy to have found a way for me to get out of this feeling like I'm not good enough to do that. And I would like to share this happiness with you. Because for me, it has always been a struggle that if I share something, it needs to be perfect. It needs to come from me in a perfect shape or format. So I allowed myself to extend the learn, do, share with another word, and this is learn, do, experience, share. Because this moment of experience allows me to grow into the doing, to understand it well, to chew it in my own words and mentality, and then share it with others, because then the share becomes unique from me. Then I understand the share. Since I started doing the experience part, I'm not unhappy anymore about that I'm not worthy enough. So Jacqueline, I would propose, try this for yourself and see if you can walk the journey by just using the experience part, where you experience enough so that you can share. I hope this makes sense. For me, it has always been like when you study something and then you pass it on without rethinking it, it's like not understanding really the whole study. But once you experience it, this makes you an authority of what you have studied. I think we are all doing this subconsciously. We are all chewing up and massaging what we are receiving from all the people here in the call, or from the Papa Bear, JJ, and Justin and the rest. So we experience it and then we share it with others. That's my 2 cents for you guys.
Thanks
you,
Nasco.
Nasco.
I just want to know,
Okay.
maybe Dennis says something on this. When we say learn, do, and share, I believe when we do it, that's itself an experience. While you're doing it, you're going through the journey, you're learning it. Once it's authentic and you learn it, because what you share, what you believe in, that's what you share, and that's going through the experience. That's a journey. That's my belief. I don't know what Curls or Daniel or anyone else has something about that.
I think I agree with that. I think that I've done stuff and not really experienced it, right? Like I can drive to the gym and not even know how I get there, just because I go the same way, right? So to me, doing isn't always experiencing it. I have to be present in order to experience something, which requires mindfulness, you know, in itself. So in my recovery, I use that as an example. You know, whenever people ask me to talk in the beginning, I was super, super nervous. Just like I get nervous for this call. I still get nervous for this call sometimes, you know? And the way we take that away is we're not teaching anybody anything. All we're doing is sharing our experience, strength, and hope. That's it. You know, by sharing my experience, it takes the pressure off, right? Because if I'm telling my story, well, I can't mess it up. It's my story. Only I can tell it, you know, and because I've experienced it. So I think it's really whatever works for you. You know what I mean? But it is helpful, in my opinion. It helps us be more open to share things if we just come at it from the perspective of we're just sharing our experience. That's it, you know, because there's no expectation. You know what I mean? Like I don't expect anybody will get anything out of whatever we do. I just try to share what I can, and hopefully somebody can relate, you know, and I think that the people that I've connected with the most in our community are people that just share their experience, you know, and it's real, and it's never perfect, right? And rarely is it polished, you know, but that's the stuff that makes us pay attention. You know, I found that on my messages that I send out to subscribers or whomever, I get much more engagement on ones where I stutter, or I say the wrong word, or I do whatever, you know. And I used to, this is a little example, but so you know how whenever you do like a video Vimeo or you're launching out the broadcast, you got to take a screenshot of the actual picture. Well, I used to, in the beginning, I would make the picture where I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, looking good in my picture, you know, in my mind. And then what I started doing was I would take a screenshot of me like where it looks like I'm sneezing or falling down or just some random awkward expression on my face, and way more engagement on those. You know what I mean? Because that's interesting. Nobody gives a shit if you sit there and take 12 pictures of yourself, put on Instagram so it looks perfect, right? People want to see like whenever you're falling down, right? Or when you're doing something cool, or you're being real, because that's what people relate to. You know what I mean? So that to me, that's real. That's life. That's experience. You know what I mean? So awesome. I appreciate all of you who shared today. We try to wrap up early to give Curls a breather before her next call, because she is so amazing, and we would not be able to do any of this without her. So as we always finish up, a couple action items for you guys and gals. Okay.
Before you carry on, there's a lovely message of gratitude in the Q&A that I'd like to read from Cha. I hope I pronounce your name correctly. I am grateful for being able to have the space away from work to catch this webinar. I'm grateful to have time out of my work and have visited a friend on Thursday during the day. I'm grateful that we prayed together and took communion together. I am grateful for you, Danny, who reminds me today of the importance of being grateful. I am grateful for Cynthia. For those of you who don't know, it's me. Like barely anyone in the SFM knows me as Cynthia. It's always Curls. So I'm grateful for Cynthia. For the last time we had a video meeting and she gave me her undivided attention and we worked out something together, which has been so helpful to me. I'm grateful for the SFM tribe and my journey. I am grateful to life and my creator. It's a lovely share.
Absolutely. I love it. How can you feel like that and have a bad day, right? That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Curls, Cynthia, the Magnificent. All righty.
You can call me Queen.
or Queen, or Queen. I just, you know.
Just joking. Floor is yours.
All right, action items. As always, the one that we have, tell someone that you appreciate them. Don't text them. Leave them a voice message, call them, just tell someone that you appreciate them. That's the running one. The second action item is for our next call in 2 weeks, bring with you a picture or an item or something that you are grateful for, okay? Or if you have a cool little short story on gratitude. Next month, as we said, is National Gratitude Month. And so the next call is going to be straight up gratitude, top to bottom, all on about being grateful. Cool. And then we have a little surprise, though, the call after that, but I will announce that at the next call. So those are your action items. Tell someone you appreciate them, bring a picture or an item to the next call, or a short story, something you're grateful for. Okay. And the book of the week, a book of the every other week, which I tore the cover off because I bought it used and it was shitty, so you can't even really tell what that is. So I pulled it up on my iPad. It's called The One Thing, right here, by Gary Keller and some other dude that I can't pronounce his name. I've heard a lot of people recommend this, and I finally read it. Oh, Mo, look at that. Trend setter. Awesome book. Just finished it a few days ago. Really, really like it. It was an excellent book called The One Thing. It's an easy read, and it's very, very good about laser focus. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with us today on our call. We are super grateful to have this space, man, to come here and talk about positive things. And Curls, thank you so much for making it happen. Queen, you're amazing. I love you and I appreciate you.
I need to get myself a crown or something.
You do.
Ruud,
You do.
Ruud calls me Your Highness. You're going to call me Queen. I'm going to figure out something for Casper.
I will call you whatever you ask me to, girls.
Oh, God. It's just good to have some fun. But thank you, everybody, for coming, for participating, for sharing, for opening as usual. I really, really enjoy this call. You guys are really cool kids. Really cool. Yeah, Joris says thank you in the chat, and Araminta says beautiful, grateful that you share that. Always a pleasure. And you're a gift to this community. Thank you for everything you do. Grateful.
Oh, thank you guys. I appreciate you very, very much. Y'all have an awesome day.
You too. Bye.